Good morning, guys. All right, so poised and ambitious, a viewer asked me a question about my meditation practice, and I'm assuming she's asking about asking about my personal meditation practice, how I meditate, something to that effect. And I thought today, June 20th, was a great day to answer that question, simply because tomorrow, June 21st, is the first day of summer and summer solstice, which happens to be the longest day of the year. Yay! I so wish we can have daylight like this all year round. That would be super dope. But the earth being what the earth is, summer solstice is tomorrow, June 21st. So tonight, June 20th, me and my friends are actually going to have a meditation gathering to bring in the summer. We are going to our friend Ayana's home. It's her gathering. She invited us, and so we're going to her home this evening to meditate. I have my overnight bag, y'all, because she's in DC. I live in Northern Virginia. She's in DC, and then a lot of my other friends live in Maryland and things like that. So I don't know where I'm sleeping tonight, but I'm probably not going to drive all the way back home. So let's talk about meditation. I do not consider myself an advanced meditation practitioner or an expert on meditation or anything like that. I can only tell you what works for me and what has worked for me in the past. I've tried all different sorts of meditation. I don't even have the names off the top of my head, but I've tried the meditation where you just sit silently and clear your mind. That doesn't work for me at this point. I've tried meditation where you would repeat a sound like something like that. That doesn't necessarily work for me either, even though the meditation that does work for me is very similar. What I do is I chant, and my chant of preference is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and that is Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism. But Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which doesn't really have a English translation, but essentially what it is saying or what it is doing is getting you in tune and in rhythm with the vibration, the language of the universe. So I chant that, knowing that my intention when I meditate is to release resistance and allow. Anything that blocks whatever you want from happening is known as resistance. Because the bottom line is, even in biblical texts, ask and it is given. The bottom line is, from a biblical standpoint, when Jesus died on the cross, he opened up the covenant of you being able to speak with the Creator directly. No longer do you have to do sacrifices like sacrificial lambs, things like that. No longer are you working under the covenant of toil and sweating by your brow and labor and pain. He released that covenant and entered into a new covenant of you are now able to ask and it is given. But what blocks our prayers from being answered are things like resistance, are things like lack of faith, no faith. When you pray or meditate for a thing, you have to walk in that thing as if it already is. You have to walk into it with that knowing, the confidence of the knowing that it is done. Thy will is done, and all things are working out for me. All things are working out for the greater good. And so that is my intention, and that's my knowing whenever I sit down to meditate. What I do personally when I meditate is I will repeat Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo over and over again, simply because the way my mind is set up, and the way a lot of people's minds are set up, is it won't stop. It doesn't necessarily rest, which is the purpose of meditation, is to let your mind rest and to not think active thoughts. It is my belief that the reason that you won't think active thoughts is because a lot of times people are trained to think about what they've always thought about. And if what you always thought about has been working for you, great. But if it hasn't been working for you, and maybe it hasn't, I mean, if your life doesn't look the way you want it to look, it means that something hasn't been quite effective for you. Things can be more effective. So the purpose of meditation is to go ahead and quiet your mind so that you don't think in the patterns and in the ways that you have always thought, right? A lot of people have a habit of going back and thinking about their problem from a problematic standpoint, or thinking about the lack in their life, or thinking about the worries and the woes. You can't meditate on that because you will bring more of that into your experience. So when I do Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, it does two things. It gives my mind something to think about. Because if it's going to think anyway, let's give it something. So I give it Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which isn't English. If I had to think in the words of our English language, even when we think about mantras, if I had to say, you are good, you are good, you are good, because those words have a meaning, like I've already assigned those words some sort of a meaning, some sort of a judgment, it may not be effective. Even when we think our mantras are perfect, when we think that they're awesome, sometimes the word, even when you think about the word beautiful, the word of beautiful carries in it the weight of all that's beautiful, but it also carries the weight of all that's not beautiful, because when you're thinking beautiful, you may automatically think of the things that aren't beautiful, right? So if I'm thinking I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, a thought may slip in there about my flaws or the things that I don't think are beautiful, or, you know, I may, do I really believe I'm beautiful? So it carries all of that. So I'd rather repeat a mantra that's not that is not in English, that I have not already assigned judgment to. So Nam Myoho Renge Kyo works for me. It has a nice rhythm, it's a nice cadence, it gives your mind something to chew on. And then also, when you think about mantras, or when you think about meditational sounds like that vibration is the vibration of the universe. Nam, tickles my lips. Even amen, you know, all of those things, that sound is the sound of the universe. So Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho, I'm vibrating when I do that. The other thing that it does for me is I know that in that phrase is packed with all that is well. All is well is packed in that phrase. I don't have to know what that means. You know, when I talk to God, I don't have to have the answers. God doesn't have to give me answers in a conversational format. I don't have to receive it in a dialogue. I receive my answers in a knowing. That inclination, that gut instinct, that that thing that I know that I'm going to be given ideas, I'm going to be giving situations, I'm going to be given opportunities that's going to lead me to the next thing, that's going to lead me to the next thing, that's going to ultimately lead me to whatever it is I'm asking in prayer, in meditation. Now the other thing I do, because my mind loves to work, so I allow it to work. I used to try to stop it from working and realize that wasn't necessarily the best thing for me. So the other thing that I do when I meditate, as I'm doing Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, I visualize. I am a person who works through visualization. And when I visualize, I don't necessarily visualize steps. Do this, do this, do this. I visualize feeling. I visualize how I'm going to feel. I visualize me smiling. I visualize happy. I visualize beauty. I just visualize. I visualize in fantasy. If I want to, let's say, like if I wanted to get a new home or something, I visualize how that home is going to make me feel. I visualize the feel that I'm going to have going up to my new home. And slowly but surely, the pieces will stop filling in. I may get a vision of a door. I may get a vision of a what the roof is going to look like, what the rooms are going to look like, the things that I'm going to do in the home. I may get those visions, and I allow that, and I just smile and I visualize. If I'm visualizing, let's say, my home being paid off, I visualize, ooh, all the things I'm going to be able to do once that money is freed up. I visualize every month just getting my paychecks and not having to send anything to a mortgage. I visualize all the people that I'm going to be able to help, all the allowances I'm going to be able to raise, all the donations I'm going to be able to give, all the gaps I'm going to be able to step in and fill just because I am abundant. Oh my goodness. But that's what I do when I meditate, and I should meditate more. Let me tell you, some years ago I meditated every day and night without fail, y'all. Oh my goodness. And it got to the point where all I had to do was think a thing, and boom, it manifested. It was there, y'all. I'm talking about, and it could be anything. I mean, it could be from who I wanted to date, who I wanted. I mean, because I would see people like, he look interesting, let's see what he about, and next thing I know, we dating, and then I realized maybe not so much. But I've even gotten to some great relationships with some great people. I could be like, oh, I really need a graphic artist. I mean, literally, seriously, I was driving through Philly one day, and I had did my morning meditations that day, and I was meditating, because you can pray about anything, y'all. So I was meditating on, I wanted a graphic artist for a project I was doing at the time, and my grandmother and my great aunt were in the car with me, and we stopped at the gas station to pump some gas. And let me tell you, this dude came up to me at the gas station, and he was like, yo, I'm an artist, and he was like, can I just show you some of my work? I mean, out of the blue. And my grandmother and my great aunt witnessed this, and they knew that I had meditated on that earlier. So when they seen that, and he had like this book, this portfolio of drawings and things, they wanted to know after that, wait a minute, what's that thing you were doing again? Because they witnessed how quick I manifest. And I still manifest really quickly. I am a quick manifester. And I know I could be even better if I was more consistent in my meditation practice. Why am I not consistent when I know that this stuff works? When I know how magical and powerful I am as a co-creator with God, with the source energy that controls everything in this universe. Why don't I? I'm lazy. I'm lazy. For some reason, it seems like as humans, we have a tendency to start a good thing, to know a good thing, and then somewhere along the line, especially when it's working, we just get we get relaxed. We slack off. We say, I really don't got to do that. I could do this instead. So yeah, it's a tendency of human nature, I find. Unless you keep yourself in a company of those who believe what you believe. That's why they say, like, again, I go back to Christianity, because that is my base training. And even in Buddhism, that's why you find that they say, you know, you must fellowship. You must get together with those of like beliefs and like minds and like practices, because that's going to keep you in the energy of that thing. That's going to keep you building that habit. That's going to keep you that when you're falling short or falling off, somebody's going to come and say, hey, what happened? What about? How about? And so we need that. We need that good fellowship. My thing is, all my girlfriends, y'all met them. Y'all met most of them. We all believe the same things. We all live our lives in much of the same manner. So I have a great support system in my friends. But yeah, I think that's answering the question. And how long do I meditate? I am a believer that you will know. You will know. Nobody can tell you. Yes, people can give you guidance. Yes, people can give you base instruction. But at the end of the day, what you must do on this planet is learn to listen to your own internal guidance system. I'm just gonna, there's a bus in front of me. I'm just gonna just wait. Cause y'all know I'm in a Tesla. I could zip out of there if I wanted to. I could bloom, but I don't want to mess the camera up. But yes, I believe that you have to learn to listen to the good wisdom, the messages that God has given to you directly. So nobody can tell you that but you. Nobody can feel that for you but you. So I meditate for as long as I meditate. That's how long I meditate. I don't have a stopwatch. I mean, and it helps. And honestly, I do prefer meditating with other people because it removes my mind from the how long. Because sometimes it takes a minute for me to get into the rhythm of just sitting there and going. But when I'm meditating with other people, I know that somebody else is gonna call time. And so I can just sit there and do my job, which is to sit there, empty my mind from everything else except my intention. And like I said, I sit down with an intention. I have my intentions written out. At my altar at home, I have them written on post-it notes around the altar. Whether it is I'm praying for somebody, whether it is I'm trying to achieve a thing, whether it is I'm trying to feel a way. So if I say today, I'm going to focus on the growth and success of my YouTube channel, that is all that I'm bringing to the table. So I'm not going to think about what's going on at work, what's going on at home, what's going on in the sky. I'm going to think about my YouTube channel. But I'm also going to allow my mind to be free and fluid enough that when I receive inspiration, when I receive divine thought, I allow it. I allow it in. And I may choose to follow it in that moment. Meaning I started this off about the YouTube channel, but oh, what this really is about is me being a bomb creator, me being a bomb producer, me being a creative content, a creative artistry, you know. And I may follow that. I may get the inspiration that says, oh, you should give such and such a call, and I may make mental note of that, and then my meditation may shift to let me meditate on the well-being of such and such, let me visualize such and such, so freaking happy, so freaking successful, whatever that may mean. Because at the bottom line is, at the end of the day, I think everybody does what they do because they believe it will bring them more happiness. You know, even with the success of my channel, I believe it will bring me more happiness, you know, more independence, more, y'all know I love some money, so more money to add to the goal of paying off my home, things like that. So that in a nutshell, 19 minutes long, y'all, that in a nutshell is what meditation is for me and what I do when I meditate. Hey y'all, so we are off from work now, me and Carla Kyle.
Hey everybody.
And so Carla, question.
What's up?
What is your experience with meditation?
Meditation is new for me. It's something I've been wanting to try and experience since you all have been talking about it. Last week one day I did try to meditate, and I did it. It was kind of quick, and literally within the next hour it just seems like everything was chaotic. I was having a horrible day. Then
after meditating,
so I was like, I did this wrong. I'm gonna need some training because this did not work for me. Fast forward about 5 hours, not even 5 hours, fast forward an hour or two later, you know, logged into my school email, found out my degree had been conferred, found out I had passed the NCE exam, which was something that I was, you know, not really concerned about, but, you know, concerned about. And then a trip to St. Lucia that I had been trying to get planned through my company that I won at a holiday party got planned. So then I was like, oh, maybe meditation did work. I just didn't know.
Put everything in the flow of things.
It did.
So she said like an hour of it felt like the worst hour of her life.
It did.
And then it turned out to be one of the best days of her life.
Gosh, it was. It was.
And y'all know, remember this morning I was talking to y'all about meditation, about my practice and everything, and my intention to like pay off my house early and all of this other stuff. Guess what? I'm at work. I found a plane ticket going to Madrid, one way from DC to Madrid, $323, y'all. So I went ahead and booked that for me and my friends. And then as I'm booking it in my good office, my manager, supervisor came in and he gave me I got a raise. So
tell them what the concern was before the raise.
Well, so as I'm booking the flight, the bags weren't included, so it was like $77 for a bag. And I'm sitting there contemplating life, like, do I want to pay $77 for a bag? I'm thinking, how can I get all my clothes in a backpack? And then that's when he walked in, and boom, here you go, here's a raise. So yes, y'all, I got a raise, which puts me over $210,000 a year I am earning, which I'm super proud of, because y'all know I come from humble beginnings, humble background, and I'm a single person making that sort of income. And a lot of it, I feel, was sheer favor and blessings. You know, there's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason.
What I love is it wasn't expected. It was like such a pleasant blessing, because it wasn't like you were sitting there trying to fit, you know, you didn't want to spend your $77. We know how you are about money.
And guess what? Guess what? Breezy is still going half on that bag with me. We're gonna pack in one bag.
My clothes are too big to be fitting in the suitcase with anybody else's. So I'm gonna spend my $77.
You know, so I'm like, hey, I try to pay that. So yeah, so now Carla is coming tonight, and she says she is she's open to the experience, right? But what you say, Carla?
I'm open to the experience.
Now what did you no finish it.
Long as we not there talking about Ralph, boom shakalaka, pop pop. Long as we not on orange and we not talking about Ralph the head of lettuce, I'm good.
Ralph the head of lettuce.
I'm good.
She said if it stop going in that direction, she said she gonna get up and she gonna go in the car. She gonna wait for me in the car.
I'll put the church finger up like this and tip out and be like, I'm gonna meet you down at the car. Whenever you're done, I'll wait for you. Cause
she can't leave me, she my ride. Cause guess what? I'm spending the night over her house tonight. And that's another thing I love. As grown as we are, we can still have sleepovers in the middle of the work week. And what is up?
We get excited about them too. We get tickled like, oh, it's a sleepover.
She done call her husband. It's like, honey, we're gonna have company tonight. I love it. It is so awesome.
It's the life we live.
So yeah, y'all. So we on our way to a meditation gathering to bring in the new season of summer.